This reorientation could represent the most significant shift in core foreign policy principles and corresponding actions since the end of the Cold War. Although not every country or issue area can below are examples of several areas in which the shift in the U.S. foreign policy is not only important, but arguably existential, right? The point is not to assert that everyone in the evolving conservative movement, or in some cases, the growing bipartisan consensus, will agree with the details of this assessment. Rather, but is presented below demonstrates the urgency of this issue and provides a general roadmap to analysts. In a world on fire, a handful of nations require heightened attention. Some represent existential threats to the safety and security of the American people. Others threaten to hurt the U.S. economy, and others are wild cards whose full threat scope is unknown but nevertheless unsettling. The 5 countries who the next administration should focus on its attention and energy on are China, Iran, Venezuela, Russia, and North Korea. I'm going to read that again because that is the huge alignment. If we look at recent news and the posture between the United States and other countries, we see that there is a very strong theme, very strong pattern of posturing with these 5 countries. I'll read it one more time so we can index this properly. In a world on fire, a handful of nations require heightened attention. That's posturing. Some represent existential threats to the safety and security of the American people. Others threaten to hurt the U.S. economy. If y'all been watching on the series, we talked about the money, right? And how certain things are certain vehicles, right? And others are wild cards whose full threat scope is unknown but nevertheless unsettling. The 5 countries on which the next administration should focus its attention and energy are China, Iran, Venezuela, Russia, and North Korea. I'm going to read those specific sections, but I want y'all to see this right here because I can give you this receipt right now. I can give you this receipt right now because I know it's all document. We have a hyperlink from that product. We have Iran. Nor warn of Iranian threat to the U.S. ahead of nuclear. Rejects suggestion ICE agents will be at political stations. Did we not get to these receipts? I haven't even read the last section. Did I not get to these receipts? This is current events, you guys. The headlines. It's right there. It's right in our face. It's right in our face. Let's just scroll a little bit more because once again, what they reference. They talked about taxation, U.S. tariff rates to hit 15% or more. Explainer, after Trump's remarks, what is the status of Iran's weapons program? Right? Get into these receipts. Right? You can look into that on your own. You see that was directly in Reuters' article, right? So it speaks about the 5 countries the next administration should focus its attention and energy on. And it said what? China, Iran, Venezuela, Russia, and North Korea. And I just been directly showing that there are some things happening directly with that relationship. So what does this say with regards to those specific areas? It says the People's Republic of China, right? The design of the People's Republic of China, PRC, and the Chinese Communist Party, which runs the PRC, are serious and dangerous. The tyrannical country with a population of more than 1 billion people has the vision, resources, and patience to achieve its objectives. Protecting the United States from the PRC designs requires an unambiguous defensive mix, including protecting American citizens and their interests, as well as U.S. allies from PRC attacks and abuse that undermines U.S. competitiveness, security, and prosperity. The United States must have a cost-imposing strategic response to make Beijing's aggression unaffordable, even as the American economy and U.S. power grow. This stance will require real, sustained, near unprecedented U.S. growth, stronger partnerships, synchronized economic and security policies, and American energy independence. But above all, its perspective about the nature and design of the PRC as more of a threat than a competitor. Very strong language. The next president should use the State Department and its array of resources to reassess and lead this effort, just as it did during the Cold War. The U.S. government needs an Article X for China, and it should be a presidential mandate. Along with the National Security Council, the State Department should draft an Article X, which should be a deeply philosophical look at the China challenge. Many foreign policy professionals and national leaders, both in government and the private sector, are reluctant to take decisive action regarding China. Many are vested in the unshakable faith in the international system and global norms. They are so enormous with them, they cannot brook any criticism or reform, let alone acknowledge their potential for being abused by the PRC. Others refuse to acknowledge Beijing's malign activities and often pass off criticism and conspiracy theories. For instance, many were quick to dismiss even the possibility that COVID-19 escaped from the Chinese research laboratory. The reality, however, is that the PRC action often do sound like conspiracy theories because they are conspiracies. In addition, some knowingly or not parrot by the communist line. Government leaders, including President Joe Biden, have tried to normalize or even laud Chinese behavior. In some cases, these voices, like the government, or the better yet, my apologies. In some cases, these voices, like the global corporate giant BlackRock and Disney, directly benefit from doing business with Beijing. On the other hand, others acknowledge the danger posed by the PRC, but believe in a moderating approach to accommodate its rise, a policy of compete where we must, but cooperate where we can, including on issues like climate change. This strategy has demonstrably failed. Okay. For the sake of knowing that this live has gone longer, we're going to jump right to the next section. Oh, well, we only have another paragraph. I'll just read it. With all global struggles with communist and other tyrannical regimes, the issue should never be with the Chinese people, but with the communist dictatorship that oppresses them and threatens the well-being of nations across the globe. That said, the nature of Chinese power today is the product of history, ideology, and institutions that have governed China during the course of 5 millennia, inherited by the present Chinese leader from the preceding generations of the CCP.